Hello everyone and welcome to part 1 of episode 0 for my Fallout 4 playthrough. Basically all we're going to be doing in this video is going through the mods that I'll be using in this series. They're mostly set in stone. There may be some that get added, but as they do, we will discuss that when that happens. So let's just get to it. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I'll be putting pictures up for mods that I feel like would help to have a visual. First up is Lowered Weapons, which is an animation mod. Basically, when you're walking around with your gun out, but like there's no fighting to be done, or you're not aiming down the sight, your weapon is lowered. This is nice for immersion and just it looks better. It makes it so that when you go talk to somebody, your gun's not pointing right in their face. It's nice. Armorsmith Extended is a mod that it's basically just like it's a mod for mods. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That's something else. This just adds a whole bunch of armor creation and more armor types and mods and stuff like that. Trench coat is just what it sounds like. It's a trench coat. Adjustable UI volume sliders. This gives me more control over the audio levels for very specific things. Fallout Suite soundtrack extension for Fallout 4. This is something I haven't fully experienced yet, obviously, because you have to play the game a lot to hear all this new music. But in my testing, I've heard some of it, and dadgum is it good. Like, he somehow puts in instruments that I don't remember ever hearing in the original soundtrack, but it fits. Like that, you know, like the wind-up accordion thing? Or the box accordion, where you're like, I don't know, it's really hard to explain what I'm talking about, but he has one of those instruments in there and it sounds really cool. No more cash register sounds when XP gain, so when I gain XP, no more ka-ching. Quieter settlements, it lowers the sound of turrets and stuff like that, and generators. Reverb and Ambience Overhaul. This one's huge. This one's really good. This guy went through and did a lot of work on making the ambience louder, and you can adjust it, and like it just gives it a better atmosphere. But then the reverb is the big thing. He added a lot of really good reverb and increased it, and you can control the levels, you know, on your own, which is nice. Easy lockpicking. I'm doing this because I'm tired of lockpicking minigames. Basically, if I have the skill in lockpicking high enough to pick a lock, I can just pick it. But if I don't, I can't do anything. Rich merchants. This gives the merchants more money. Wearable backpacks and pouches. That's what it sounds like. I'll get more carrying capacity with that. Unique uniques gives me access to better, I don't remember if it's legendary weapons or just unique weapons in general, but anyways, it's more weapons. Everyone's best friend, which allows me to have dog meat and a companion at the same time, which was the game's original design. Crafting workbenches gives me access to build a lot of specific workbenches like ammunition and gun mod and stuff like that, so I don't have to go to like the alchemist station to make ammo. That doesn't make, I mean, I guess technically that doesn't make sense, but it's not nearly as cool. Grasslands, this one's huge. It makes Fallout look really like overgrown, because one of the problems I've always had with Fallout games, especially New Vegas, but even 3, they're just so yellow. Like, this isn't, it's like Coldplay made the game. No. So, or a phone book. Some people don't like this mod because they feel like a post-apocalyptic wasteland wouldn't have green grass. But I feel like it's been long enough in time that grass is going to start growing again. And it just, to me, it makes the game look way better. Now, I'll say this. If you notice, not just on my videos, but anyone's videos of Fallout 4, there is a lot of pixelation that goes on, especially in grass and leaf textures and trees and stuff like that. That is unfixable. That's unpreventable, because it's something about the way that Fallout 4 visually looks clashes with YouTube's compression that they do on their end. So there's literally nothing we can do to fix that. What I'm going to be, I say that here because the Grasslands mod kind of accentuates that a bit. So what you'll notice is as I'm moving, the grass will kind of be blurry. I'm going to fix it though by rendering and uploading my Fallout 4 videos in 4K. They won't be 4K. It's still only 1080p, but I'm going to upscale it to 4K. That means YouTube will allow it to be viewed at a higher bit rate, meaning which is going to make it look better, basically. So if you're watching it, especially on your computer screen, it's not going to be as noticeable on, unless you have like a really super nice TV. It might be noticeable there, but if you watch my videos full screen on your monitor, you're probably going to want to run the videos at 4K, even if you're not on a 4K display. The video will look sharper. And that's the truth for anyone, but it's usually not really worth that extra rendering time and upload size and stuff like that. So there's my recommendation. Okay. And I'll probably mention that again in the videos once we get started in the game. Bullet time. This one's huge. I'm going to be using this in kind of a cheaty way, at least at first, because I'm not going to be super... I'm where I start the game, I'm kind of under-leveled, even though I am going to start at level 5 or 10. I'm not sure. There are death claws very nearby, and bullet time helps me kind of adjust to that. And so I'll probably tweak the settings, but basically bullet time uses action points for slowing down time, just like you would expect. It's bullet time. You know what it is. And I can adjust how many action points are taken away for bullet time. And I can adjust how slow bullet time actually is. So I'll be adjusting it as we go, but just know I might be using it in a way that's kind of cheesy and cheap. I don't care because it's fun. That's all that matters. Configurable power armor fusion core drain. This one's huge to me. There's nothing I hated more in Fallout 4 than having to go out and find the power supplies for power armor. And it turns out that in the lore of Fallout, those power cores, or whatever they're called, fusion cores, they supposedly are supposed to supply power for years, or at least a really, really super long time, but I'm pretty sure it was years. So this mod allows me to customize how much drain is put on the fusion cores, and I have it set pretty stinking low, so I don't have to worry about switching out my fusion cores too often. Faster terminal displays. Terminals display faster. Legendary enemy spawning. This adjusts how often legendary enemies spawn. I want more legendary enemies because that means more legendary weapons. I love loot, or legendary armor, or whatever they get. Live dismemberment. This one's really cool, and I usually am not a big fan of VATS. Like, it's cool and all, and I'll use it like 5% of the time. But with VATS, and the bullet time, but with VATS, with this mod, VATS all of a sudden becomes cooler. Because with live dismemberment, you can shoot off a person's leg, they will fall down and crawl after you trying to attack you. Or stay prone and shoot you. Or if you shoot their arm off and they had a two-handed weapon, they will try to find something one-handed to come attack you with, or they'll just come punch you. It's a really cool mod. Totally changes the game. It's nice. Totally changes the combat. More armor slots. I think I don't need this because I think Armorsmith already does this, but just in case, I put it in there. More armor slots basically allows me to equip armor over clothing, is a good way to put it. Quick trade. Don't you hate how in Skyrim and Fallout 4 and a lot of other RPGs, when you go to a shop, you can't just click buy or sell. You've got to go through this whole dialogue, Man, we got everything for sale. I'd sell you my sister if I could. And then you click buy now, let me see what you've got. And he's like, oh yeah, I've got all sorts of good stuff. And it's like, okay, just take me to the shop. That's what this fixes. Quick trade allows me to just go bam, skip the dialogue and go right into the store. Restore power armor frames. This one's huge. I didn't know that if you killed an enemy in power armor, you cannot take their power armor. This mod allows you to do that. It's really, really cool, and we'll be using it in the very first episode. Start me up. If there's any mod on this list that takes precedence over every other one. It's this one. Start Me Up is the greatest alternate start mod I have ever seen in my life. It's worlds better than even the alternate start mod that I used on my Skyrim playthrough. What's so special about this? Well, not only does it let you to really customize what you start with, it gives you the ability to have traits, which are an old Fallout thing that Fallout 4 didn't have. You choose like your history and all this stuff, which is great. You could obviously choose your starting location, which is great. But this dude went through the dialogue of the entire game and changed it so that Sean isn't your son. He's just a boy. It's brilliant. It's really cool. There are some places in the dialogue where it's kind of obvious it's been cut and pasted together, but it's still really cool. Survival options, I've got it installed. I won't be using it though, because I'm not going to be playing survival, but I want it in there just in case I wanted to tweak some gameplay later on in case the game got too easy or something. Visible weapons in third person. This is what I'm not even sure if I've tested to see if it's working, but actually you can see the GIF over here. Basically, when you go in third person and you remove your weapon, it gets put on your back or wherever it needs to be. Lots more facial hair. Gives me more beards to choose from. That's always important. My dude's going to be really hairy. Automatically lowered weapons. This is kind of a duplicate of the first mod. I didn't realize I had both of them installed, but it works, so I'm just leaving it. Immersive Vendors. This gives the vendors more items in their shop visually. Pip-Boy Flashlight. This allows me to customize the Pip-Boy Flashlight and like what it looks like and how it works. It also gives me a different flashlight for when I'm in power armor, which is cool. Subway Runner. This one's really neat. So supposedly Fallout 4, is there an image here? I think I've got one I can pull up. Fallout 4 has a lot of subways, but they're just like secluded subways. This mod connects them all, which is really stinking cool. Like it goes all across the whole, under the map. It's basically the Black Reach of Fallout 4 now. Armor and weapon keyword, community resource. This is a mod for mods. Settlement keywords expanded. That's a mod for mods. All weapons HD. Now we're getting into textures. Basically, I've got a lot of textures, lots of textures. Most of them are the 2K versions. Some are the 4Ks. Like I've got the 4K stars because they look really nice. Nothing big to say there. I do want to point out the NMC texture mods are fantastic. I used those back in New Vegas, and I'm using these here. It's for roads, which these roads look so good. And I'll put up some pictures of some of these high-res textures that I'm just kind of skipping over. But the roads are really, really good. And then the Sanctuary Bridge, he improved that a lot, and it's not as broken as it used to be. Now we get to the what's this called? Sim settlements. I'm going to be doing a lot of settlement building in this game. I've always loved that mechanic, but this makes it even cooler. This turns it into more of a sim game than a building construction game. Like, no more do you have to, okay, I'm going to put this foundation here, and I'm going to put this wall here, and this wall here, and this door frame here. No, none of that. You get your colony together, and you say, hey, let's put an agricultural building here. Let's put a residential building here. Let's put an industrial building here. And over time, the people will build it, and they'll expand it and make it bigger and better. It's so cool. I can't wait to get into that. Random power armor. Power armor movement sounds. This makes the power armor quieter, which is very nice. Power armor animation changes, which makes getting in and out of the power armor faster. It's always the fast animation, like you're in combat. Hollow HUD, which is a power armor HUD mod. Power armor storage system. This allows me to store things in the power armor as a container. And what's nice about this is when I'm in the power armor, I have access to them. So like a big heavy weapon, it just stays with the power armor, and I don't have to worry about carrying it around everywhere with me. More experience points. Basically, I'm going to be getting experience at 2 times the normal rate, which is awesome. All right, that's more sim settlements. User interface mods. Better mod descriptions. Basically tells you everything you need to know about weapon mods. Full dialogue interface tells me exactly what I'm going to say in dialogue. HUD framework I'm actually not using, but I'm keeping it installed just in case I want to use it later. Immersive HUD, which Gopher describes as HUD when you want, hide when you don't. It's awesome mod. Love Gopher. Mod configuration menu, which is basically there to allow me to change settings for mods and whatnot, which we'll have to be doing in the first episode for a little bit. No more Creation Club news. This is a mod you guys will never see, but it's a quality of life for me because Creation Club is for suckers, and I don't care about seeing it on the home screen or on the main menu of Fallout 4. Valdesil's item sorting. This one's really, really awesome. It adds a little tag to the beginning of all items, and therefore all of the items are sorted together in their groups. It's really awesome. Vivid Fallout Rocks, which is a rocks texture. Water Enhanced 2K Water, which is a water texture. Then we got weapons. I will let you just look at that. If you want to go look up the weapons, I'm not going to talk through all of them. The one that I love the most is... Where is it? Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Oh no. Oh, maybe it's a part of a bigger, maybe it's the R91? Is it that one? Anyways, there's one rifle that I really, really love. It's fantastic. Anyways, moving on. And then finally, and certainly not least, is Vivid Weathers, which is a weather and climate overhaul. Kind of adjust the colors of the game a little bit too and stuff like that. So, there are the mods. There are how many of them? I don't even know. Can I see how many mods there are? I'm trying to see if there's a thing that has them selected. I don't know. There's a lot. So that's it. Oh, here we go. Active plugins, 136. Total mods, 112. Installed mods, 111. There we go. So that's it for part 1 of part 0. part 1 of episode 0 of my Fallout 4 Let's Play. Next video, in part 2, we'll be doing the character creation. We'll be talking a little bit about his backstory, but not all of it, because there's a fun little intro video for episode 1 that talks about that. So we'll see you guys in part 2 of episode 0. Right. Adios. Goodbye.